Well, welcome to our experiment, the 100-Person Project. I am Bill Carell, and this is my investigation. Simple questions for 100 people, and this is a research project to gather data from 100 beautiful human beings for the sole purpose just to see what actually happens across the interviews. Now, the questions are fixed, and all the interviews will remain consistent, with the variable actually being the person and the participants themselves. So it's as if I'm having you, Brandi, come sit on my porch with me to share your ideas so I can learn more about people through your eyes. So although we were unsure about what we are going to discover, if anything, when we put this together, when we're done, we just remain very interested in the people, the process, and your story in particular. So with that said, we'll dive right in and get to know Brandi a little bit better. So what is your full name?
Hello, my name's Brandi Flubacher.
No middle name?
Oh, yeah, it's Lee.
How do you spell that?
Leih, not the what's the name, the karate guy, Bruce Lee, not like Bruce Lee.
Oh, okay. That's really Leih. That's neat. Okay, good. I've heard GH, but you're the first one without the G.
Yep.
Usually the G is silent anyway, so it doesn't add anything, does it?
Nope.
All right. So, Brandi Flubacher, what is your favorite nickname that most people don't know?
Um, I don't really have a favorite nickname. Everyone just it's Bran, Bran is
Yeah.
name.
So
Yeah.
nobody in your family ever had something else that was a little bit different, and the minute they say the word, it takes you back to when you were a certain age or something of that nature?
Uh, no, it was always Brandy or Brandy Lee. That's when I was getting yelled at.
When you were getting yelled at, okay. That gets hollered, you know there's gonna be some interesting what for is going on. All right, good for you. So, when did you first notice what color hair you had?
Good one. A tough question.
Most of the importance are
I would probably assume around 7 or 8 when I started seeing or remember seeing pictures of myself at that point in time.
sure. Do you have any recollection at any particular point where the focus was on your hair at an early age?
Not necessarily the color. It was always my mom always wanted to make sure that it was braided, done. French braided was our most notorious. So,
That's great. So, what is your favorite thing to do to intentionally waste time?
intentionally waste time right now. It is playing my game on my phone.
And what game do you play?
I play Merch Dragons.
That's an interesting game that I haven't heard of. Is that a Facebook game by any chance?
No, not a Facebook game, just an app, a game app. And I probably saw an advertisement through Facebook at one point in time
Yeah.
to download it. And I've been playing that. So it's kind of almost like a matching game. So you match 3 or more items and you get a magical dragon or ants or dragon homes. So it's kind of like a little community.
Yeah, sounds wonderful. And so do you play this with a group of people, or is it pretty much a, game that you play by yourself?
Game I play by myself.
Okay, great. And how long have you been playing this game? Merch?
Merge Dragons. I've actually
Merge
been
Dragon.
yeah, I've been playing that one for a couple years now. It's kind of addicting.
Yeah,
I'll go off and play another game and then always come back to that one.
something about putting things together and making new things, huh?
Yes.
What's up with that? That's pretty cool. So the next question, Brandi, is what is your favorite movie to watch alone?
Movie to watch alone. My favorite movie, pretty much of all time, is getting put on the spot, so I'm forgetting the name right off the um uh one of those teen heartthrob movie where it's got Kiefer Sutherland in his young days and they're vampires. I don't remember the name of it.
It was something about the boys, right?
Yes, Lost Boys.
Between the two of us, we make a whole mind, don't we?
That's right. That's right. That is one of my favorites. That one
Yeah.
and Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused. Either vampires or Dazed and Confused. All right. Now, I see nothing similar to them whatsoever, other than they both seem to make you laugh.
That's right. And
Good.
there's just something about Kiefer Sutherland that I really like. So he's
Yeah.
my favorite actor.
Yeah, we've had our share of watching him in 24, and then the other one where his son was autistic but absolutely brilliant with math and all that sort of thing, and everything was Kiefer running around going, Jake. So from that point on, anytime Kiefer's been in any kind of a movie or something, when my wife and I were watching it, we just call it, "Oh, Jake's on now." So let me see here. So if you were to have an action figure made of you, what superpower would it have, and what colors would the uniform be?
Ooh, definitely have to say a hot pink is definitely my colors. Hot pink and black. Um, but what my power would be? Hmm. What? I think my superpower would be more or less the spreading more or less the happiness than versus the darkness. Like positivity. Uh, making people see the potential in themselves versus um, the the worst part. Looking at life in a positive aspect versus the darker aspect. What can I
So
learn from these mistakes versus this mistake is what makes me.
So essentially, your superpower would allow them to be able to visualize and be present to what works about them, the good things about them.
Yes.
And now, would they know that that was coming from you, or would you just kind of like walk through, I don't know, the mall, and now all of a sudden everybody starts smiling?
I think that would be best. I don't
Yeah,
have to be recognized for it. It's just seeing happy people. I don't
yeah.
like grumpy people.
It sounds to me like you're very popular today. Are those all instant messages
I
coming through for
know.
you?
That's like Facebook in the background there. They're planning my class reunion and people are uh messaging in the chat there and it's right at the wrong moment that they're all popping in. It was quiet a little while ago.
Yeah. So is that distracting for you?
No,
Okay. All right. Good. So again, we're talking what kind of pink?
hot pink.
Hot pink and black.
Yep.
Would you have a cape?
Capes are kind of cool. I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind
Yeah, I think you'd look good in a hot pink cape
it.
with black embroidery around the outside of it. And definitely with some kind of a mask.
Yes.
Not over your face, but maybe just over your eyes. Excellent. So now, what did you want to grow up to be when you were 5 years old?
I think I actually wanted to grow up and be, I think it was a doctor. That didn't that didn't happen, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a doctor.
We've gotten close.
Yeah, close. Dental assisting is sort of in the realm.
Yeah. Do you get to wear white?
I do. At my new job, we wear white lab coats, and I actually don't like white lab coats.
Really? What's up with that?
Well, because for one, patients always say they have the white coat syndrome, or it also I don't like it shows mess. It shows more of a mess than anything. We in dental we get a lot sprayed with a lot of stuff.
I found out during COVID that that's called aerosol.
Yes.
Who knew such a thing?
Yep.
So anyhow, so all right, so you got part of the dream to come true, and just probably not the DR after your name, right?
Yeah. No. I found out that I don't like giving injections or anything like that. So it creeps me out. So I decided not to do anything like nursing or anything that would end up causing me to give injections.
Yeah. Okay. You you find people that give injections less lovable than the rest of humanity, or
No, I give more power to him because that's a skill.
since you're not doing it, somebody has to, right?
That's right.
Okay. So, what is your greatest accomplishment, Brandy, besides being so popular on Facebook?
I know. I'm trying to figure out how to nonchalantly quiet these notifications right now. It's driving me not necessarily insane, but I'm sure.
So, what I love about this podcast is it's about real people.
Yeah.
It's about being genuine and authentic, and just plain, taking a look and seeing what comes up. And so,
That's right.
it's perfect. Whatever is
Mhm.
happening is absolutely perfect.
Real and raw over here.
Good for you.
So, the greatest accomplishment was oh, the first greatest accomplishment was actually when I graduated high school because I was actually the first, since I was first born in my family. Mom nor dad never graduated high school. They all got GEDs. So that was to me an accomplishment.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a family accomplishment, wasn't it? It was a
Hmm.
big deal for them as well, I'm sure.
Yep.
Lots of hugging and tears and probably too much good food and
For sure.
yeah. And so you shared with me before, that your maiden name was French, and or are your parents French also?
Yes. Cat sneaking in on me. Um, my mom's side, yes, we're both side are French. I'm French and Swedish. I found out on my mom's side, and French and Native American on my father's side.
Do you have any more information on the Native American side? Like what part
I
of the United States or what tribe?
Yep. As far as I know, my aunt did a bunch of research, and she found out that we are Abenaki Indian, and I believe we're out of New Hampshire.
That's interesting. I haven't heard that tribe name before.
Yeah, I hadn't either. Our
Yeah, I like your sash.
Yeah, our usual sitting spot. This She
There,
just sits here.
and
Must be
now, and is it a he or she?
she.
Now famous.
Yes.
Excellent. So, moving right along, Brandy, who is your favorite person to listen to?
Person to listen to. Um, any kind of genre or just in general?
This is your life, whatever you want to talk about.
I've currently been into listening to a woman called Catherine Zenkina. She does a manifestation babe podcast. So I've done read some of her books and listened to her. I listened to her podcasts and things on my way into and out of work.
That's interesting. So, what got you interested into manifestation?
I had done a course with a mentor of mine called Manifest $1,000 in 20 days, I think it is. So I had done that. That was based on a book that Catherine had written. So it kind of interested me a little bit more about how she manifests things and how that whole law of attraction works.
So, have you spent much time really kind of delving into the law of attraction? Because there's unbelievable amount of publications and YouTube videos and you name it.
I haven't done a lot, but I have noticed more of like focusing on like the angel numbers and those kinds of messages, and like how they relate into my life and when the I find the numbers and what kind of feelings and associations they are at that moment in time
Yeah,
on what they're actually telling me.
it can be quite fascinating. And the really scary part to it is when you start to develop some facility and you actually can create things, in your mind and then have them show up in your life. And at first, that probably seems, people that are watching and listening right now,
Yeah.
I'm spending a minute going in here because I did have the opportunity to have breakfast with this lovely person, just a couple hours ago, and I'm a big believer that what you think about, you bring about. And it's no accident that you and I are in each other's lane at this moment, and I'm really interested to see where this is going to go. And I have great plans for us. Let's put it that way. And the name of the person that you like to listen to again, who is that for our folks at home?
Catherine Zenkina.
All
She
right, Catherine
is
Zentina.
um, she does the Manifestation Babe podcast, and she's also on like she has a Facebook group and she's on Instagram as well. I actually
Excellent.
meet up with her.
Sounds good. So, Brandy, please complete this sentence. When I grow up, I would like to.
Retire in a beach setting and not have to worry about someone else managing my schedule. I want to be in control of my own schedule. That's my
That's
grown-up goal.
that's very interesting. And so what would that look like? Being in control of managing your own schedule.
That would be able to work, set my own work hours, be able to take vacations or time off when I want to see fit versus asking a boss for time off or another employee requested the time off. So I wouldn't be able to do things that I personally wanted to do and have to rearrange my schedule for it. So
That's a noble dream for when you grow up. I totally appreciate that. So now, what is the most important thing in life to you right now?
right now, the most important thing is working on my personal development and creating the skills in order for me to be able to um, create a like what is it, the residual income and be able to work from home and help my husband more with his business versus going into an office.
Mhm. And what percentage of time would you say you spend thinking, planning, acting on, doing things around that?
I currently do approximately 2 hours a day during working days, and then on the weekends I try and dedicate a little bit more. Since my husband's at work anyway, so I'm home, and I try and commit more to like 3 or 4 hours to working on diligently doing what I need to do to pursue that.
Yeah. And do you have a mental timeline for yourself, or is this something that you're still constructing, or how does that seem to show up for you?
A little bit of both, still constructing, but I also do have a mental timeline, seeing as how we have a 4-year plan to move out of Connecticut, currently where we reside. So my plan and vision is to have that in working order in place by the time we pick up and leave.
Sounds good. Sounds orderly.
Trying.
Good. And what would you like to leave in the world after your life is done, Brandy?
Ooh, never even given that a thought. Yeah, I like to leave.
Some people refer to it as a legacy statement,
Yeah.
that
Um,
when their life is complete, that there will be something more than just lines in the sand, even if maybe nobody knows that they're your lines.
yeah. Um, I'm act- I'm, I guess I'm hoping to leave the sort of a legacy in a way my to the kids to pay as I'm paving a path of my own will and wants, and that anything that they set their mind to can be possible. They don't have to be driven by what society tells them, that they are their own person and to live it that way.
Hmm. Very powerful. Absolutely. That's a world changer. Good for you. So now, believe it or not, we've gotten to question 13 already. And when you go to a good bakery and you order a dozen rolls, what do you get? You get a 13th roll, right?
A baker's dozen.
Exactly. So here's the question. What is the thing that most people misunderstand about you?
um, I think people a lot of times misunderstand my strong personality and take it as sometimes that I'm being be rude or very direct, when in a sense I'm actually trying to do it in a helping way. So I feel and I like to help people, but a lot of times I can be very strong in my words. So that is a very misconception. So a lot of times people have a very are put off as a first impression of myself because of that strong personality.
Now, I'm trying to place myself, as a person who's observed you, because full disclosure, you and I have been friends on Facebook for probably a year and a half. Even though today is our first time actually ever laying eyes on each other in person. What a phenomenal world this is. And so I would have to almost ask you for some examples because I haven't seen that in you. I have seen you be very passionate, and I've seen you be very interested. And there have been a few posts that you've put up where it's been clear what you're all about and what you're for, you
Yeah.
know?
Um, it's Yeah, I guess I'm pretty much strong in what I stand for, and my beliefs, but I don't ever push that on to anyone. But I know, kind of say, let's just say in a work position, a lot of times where I'm in focused in in the task. People have been able to they come up to me and ask questions, and it's kind of like an almost like a snap answer back when it wasn't intentionally done that way. So it's or kind of like sometimes I used to actually bartend as well on the weekends. But so there had been friends of my husband that had come in with him to visit, and as we got to know each other, they would tell me things of how they thought I was a um, witch with a bee when they first met me because of um, the vibe that I put off. I guess so until I guess I have a strong wall, and I don't put it down until I get to know you.
Well, here's looking forward to not having that episode in our relationship. I can tell you one thing. It is clear to me that you're a very intense, very passionate, and very focused. Those three things I've observed from you. And I found that, today in not only in this interview, but also, the time that we spent together. So let me ask you a question. Is there anything else now that we've talked about that you would like to say some more about? Um,
Oh, we're all kind of in. Well, some of them were intense questions. Some of them are pretty easy. Um, Not that I can rip off the top of my head.
so good. This is where I give you a chance to get even. Do you have any questions for me?
Ooh, didn't even give that a thought. Um, my only question would be is what your legacy or what would be what you want to leave um after I don't think I put that question in the right way, did I?
Would you like to try it?
My brain a lot faster than it does when it comes out of my mouth. The what you would like what kind of a legacy or what you would like to leave behind for either the world, family, or personally.
This probably won't surprise you. It's a lot like what you said. I am really interested in human beings not being alike. I'm very interested in them finding out where how we are alike and celebrating that, and also bringing the best of what you have to bring as your unique self. And I want I want to feel like the remaining years of my life have been spent in adequate pursuit of bringing that possibility to all human beings. Now, there's somewhere between 7.5 and 8 billion human beings running around today. And somebody told me along the way that there have been approximately that number that have lived, that are no longer here up to now, somewhere between 5 and 7 billion. If you want to have something to really contemplate, think about every last one of those people being completely unique, never having a double, never having another human being that experiences what they experienced, the good, the bad, the indifferent. Some of us are here for a flash, the miracle of being born in many instances doesn't get celebrated at all, you know and what I would like is that when people get language, that they use language to build a better world. They use language to empower our fellow travelers, on Spaceship Earth. And so when I'm gone, if some of the things that I've done in terms of lighting a candle or casting a pebble into the pond have turned out to be good things for other people, when I'm looking down and judging, all of the human beings that are not doing what I told them to, I, I will also notice when it works.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So it's been a delightful interview, Brandi. Thank you so much for your generosity and for sharing your thoughts with our listeners on this 100-person project. I really can't believe that we're getting this thing off the ground as quickly as we are, and it's my pleasure to have hosted you. Thank you for coming on with me today.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was my pleasure.
Absolutely looking forward to our next encounter. But in the meantime, folks, you can find us wherever podcasts are. Your favorite podcasting platform will have us. And in the meantime, continue to learn more about your friends. Bye for now.
You've been listening to Simple Questions for 100 People, part of the Exvadio Podcast Network. You can find every episode at exvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcast app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you find podcasts.